What up, what up? It's Garage Gym Homie. And today, Garage Gym Homie talking about 10 tips for dating. Crazy world out there, man. And how to have a successful relationship. And is it worth it? Before we get into this here, please click the subscribe button. I got content coming out all the dang time for you. So click subscribe and let's get into this, man. God bless all of you homies, man. This is not a subject I often talk about, but I like to have diverse content, man. I'm in no way a relationship expert. Well, I don't know. Maybe I am, homie. I don't know, but I'll tell you this. Women have been a huge part of my life, man, from drug addiction to the crazy sex stuff to I'll make videos, man. I've made videos about it, you know, what I came from with the insanity with the women and the relationships and the toxicity, all that stuff, man. And so I've done a lot of growing, man. So I just want to come here and share some stuff that has worked for me that I've learned along the way. Maybe give you something from a different angle, man. So here's 10 things, 10 tips that I think could be helpful, man, to everybody. Because the dating world is nuts, man. And I don't miss it at all. And having relationships, man, it's a growing process, man. So number one, I think it's important to have very similar spiritual beliefs as your partner, man. Like me personally, like I would never date a girl who claims to be an atheist. I just think our values, our spiritual beliefs are different. I want to be able to sit with my lady, man, and talk about God and talk about how good God is, or let her know I'm praying and not feel judged, or come from the heart. I mention God all the time in my life. So God is amazing, and I want somebody who feels that with me, man, that we could worship together, or we at least, she at least can acknowledge God's existence and give him credit where credit's due. So I think it's important to have similar spiritual beliefs. I think a lot of people date and they have very big spiritual differences, and they expect their partner to come on board with them, and it doesn't work out. As far as political differences go, I don't really like thinking that politics is that important, but at the same time, I'm finding a lot of similarities in people's political beliefs and their spiritual beliefs. So it might be important. I'm kind of evaluating that to see if similar political beliefs are. I think it says a lot about the values that you have in your home. So yeah, I do think that having similar political beliefs is important because it speaks a lot about your values. So spiritual and political beliefs and sharing values is obviously important. Number two, a lot of people fail at relationships, dating, this and that. And this is all stuff that's come from me, man. Having that grass is greener mentality. I had it my whole life, man. And I'm in the healthiest relationship I've ever been in right now. So I come from every relationship. I always had that grass is greener mentality. Remember, society does not want us to be satisfied. That swiping, that dating app, I don't think it's just all horrible, because I wouldn't have met my girlfriend I'm with now if it weren't for the dating app. So I'm not mad at it, but I think we got to really be conscious of the things we're doing. Like society, just that swiping, a lot of overstimulation, treating people like they're dispensable, ghost, all that kind of stuff. We got to really have our spirituality in check, man. There's letting go of that grass is greener mentality is crucial, man. A lot of people have a wandering eye, and you just cannot wrap your head around the thought of giving up having vagina left and right. When I got sober, I had this fantasy that, yeah, even though I'm going to be sober, I'm going to have this crazy sex life and still be able to bang a million girls. And I did it in sobriety, man, and it just doesn't feel good. It's not who I am to the core. we got to give up that grass is greener mentality, that maybe there's something out there better. Because when you're ready to find a girl, man, it brings me to number 3. So number 2 is having that grass is greener mentality and never being satisfied, man, and never being able to kind of wrap your head around the thought of just, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to have sex with a million women again. That's a blessing, man, not having to deal with that, trust me. Number 3, not dating with the intention to be with someone long term, like deep down, not dating with the intention to be with someone either forever or marry them or opening your heart and going all in. When you're ready to be with somebody, you got to start by making a decision. When I left my last relationship, I had to make a decision with this new one where I'm going to put the walls down. I'm going to open up my heart. I'm just going to go all in. That was a decision that I made. So it starts with the decision, and it starts with looking at who you are to the core. Who am I to the core? Am I a guy who bangs a million women, sleeps around, lies to them, talks on the phone, to 5 women, they don't know about all this and that? Or am I a guy who lives from his heart now in sobriety, and God is number 1, and lives by who I am deep down to the core? To the core, man, I'm a dude who values family and having one lady who has my back, and that's who I am. So it starts with a decision, and you got to follow through with action, man. You got to open up your heart. You got to go all in. And you got to date with the intention that you're going to be with this person long term. So it all starts with being true to yourself. To thy own self be true. Number 4 is really important. These are all really important, man. You have to be fine with or without a chick. You got to be fine with or without a chick. You cannot rely on a relationship with a chick. And this goes for chicks too. You cannot rely on your relationship for like happiness in your life, man. You got to be completely whole and happy on your own, man. Like your life has to be filled with passions. Like, hey, no offense to Stephanie, but like if Stephanie picked up and left me today, yeah, it would hurt my feelings. It would hurt. It would wouldn't be nice. It's not what I want. But my life is filled with helping addicts, alcoholics, the YouTube channel, my dog. You have to build something that your life, working out, your life is so fulfilled where your happiness lies, with relationship with God. All that has to come first. And if that's all in order, then you can bring a lady in, and it can be a beautiful addition to your life and become, your next chapter. But you got to be whole on your own. Your life has to be full of passions. Your passions in life cannot be the relationship, or it's going to fail, because then you're relying on the relationship for happy. You got to be on your own, completely at peace and happy and whole, and you got to want a relationship, but it can't be your reliance for your passions in life. Your passions in life should not be human. They should be the things you've built, whether it's working out or helping people. When I say it can't be human, not one human, that can't be your reliance. So I always believe that you got to be completely okay with or without the relationship. So then once you have it, it's like amazing, Number 5 is something I've always struggled with, and I see the people around me, friends, family, people who struggle with this. Having to have the hottest girl ever and being insecure about what people think about who you're with. That's a big one right there, because I think there's a lot of societal pressure, especially with Instagram and all. Every girl on Instagram is like the hottest model ever. And you see that and you're like, man, that's like, I don't want some freak on my arm, homie. I don't want that anymore. Like I don't want some some girl dressed like not very, like, I want a conservative chick, man. I want somebody with nice conservative values. There's a lot of pressure where we live in our heads that I got to be with the hottest girl ever, because what will people think of me if I'm with, you know, just a really hot girl, really pretty girl. You know, we live in our heads, man, and there's a lot of pressure, and I think it holds people back from being in a relationship because they're worried about what people are going to think of them. You know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I really believe that. And if you find a girl who has your back, I mean, there's got to be attraction, and you got to, you know, really, really be attracted to your lady. But you can't do it worrying about what other people are going to think about you, man. That's not cool, because then you're living in your head, man. So don't be insecure about what people think, or think there's any kind of pressure, you know, to be with someone who looks a certain way, man, because you just kind of been programmed that way. It's not a good feeling, man. So the other one, man, speaking of following your head and not your heart, a lot of you people, and I've done it too, man, Gemma out here snoring. People playing it cool and kind of overthinking everything, man. There's this kind of like playing games thing where you overthink everything. Like me, man, I'm gonna just tell you something. If I'm courting a chick, if I'm dating a chick, if I'm talking to a chick, we just started, like, I've always been the kind of dude, man, who just picks up the phone and calls. And I've talked to a lot of my friends and people who are dating, and they're like, I'm like, why don't you just pick up the phone and call her? And they're like, oh no, man, that's weird. You know, it's like weird to pick up the phone. Like, nobody calls, people just text. I'm like, well, I guess that's what sets me apart. Because when I started talking to my girl, man, like, we weren't texting all day, man. I picked up the phone and I called her, man. We would just talk. And that's just kind of more of my, you know, maybe it's conservative values. I don't know if you'd say that, just kind of more of an old school mentality. I just believe you want to get to know someone, you want to show interest in them. You don't need to overthink every text message, man. Just come from your heart. If you want to see somebody, say, hey, when's the next time I could see you? Or I'm looking forward to seeing you. You know, like, you don't need to play it too cool or be in your head too much, man, because it's just going to hold you back. If your intentions are to see someone, say, hey, when can I see you? You know, it's like, be very direct, man, and don't live from here. Don't worry about what they're thinking because you got to play it so cool, or you can't pick up the phone and call. Be a freaking man, homie. Pick up the phone and call if you're interested in someone. Show your dang interest. So you don't got to be too cool for school, man. Number 7's a big one that I've really struggled with my whole life, and that's always been looking for chaos and not peace. What I thought a relationship was supposed to be were these super high highs and these super low lows. And that's really toxic, man, because that's what was going on around me. You know, I don't know if you guys can relate, but I've been in these relationships where I just felt like I was, oh my God, I'm like so freaking in love with this girl. It's like, so, like, it's so dang intense, man, how in love I am with this girl. But then when we would fight, it would be so toxic and so crazy. And just as much as I was in love, that's how much the craziness was on the other end. And now I'm in a relationship where, for the most part, man, we bickered, we've gotten into it, but I have peace, man. It's not the super high highs. It's not the super low lows. It's just kind of like very positive and peaceful in the home for the most part. You know, things come up, we have disagreements, we've argued, we've talked junk, yada, yada, but it's never been that intense chaos and craziness, which I love, man, which makes me love her more, because it feels secure, it feels stable, it doesn't feel like the relationship can end at any second. It feels like no matter what fight we get into, we don't jump to, well, let's break up. That's a bad one, man. A lot of people I know date, and all of a sudden they get in one fight and their first reaction is, let's break up. Well, oh, let's break up. Leave my house. Da, 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 da. And we got to reprogram that, man. If that's what you've come from, like I came from, where every fight it's let's break up. Oh, let's get back together. I haven't broken up from my chick one time, man. I haven't broken up one time since I've been in this relationship. I've been with her 2.5 years, and not a super long time, but enough where I have a grasp now where it feels stable and healthy, and I can cop to that. And so looking for peace, man, not the high highs and the low lows, peacefulness in your home. You got to have peace in the home. Number 8, having your own spirituality in order, man. The number one thing to be successful at dating or in a relationship is always being able to take a look at yourself, man. Always, man. And that's only through having your spirituality in order, man. Because if your spirituality is not in order, you will never be able to take a look within at where you were wrong and what your part was and what you're doing and how you can do better. You'll always be blaming, man. Always be blaming. So you got it. The key is taking a look within, man. Our relationship with God has to always be number one. And remember, man, God is going to guide you through the right person. You know, God's going to guide you to the right person. If all that stuff's in order I'm talking about, man, your spiritual life, you know, you're helping people, you're developing your passions in life, and you're open to a relationship, man, I think God's going to guide you to the right person. You know, I really do. So I just think that your own relationship with your spirituality and taking a look at yourself has to where were you in fear? Where are you resentful or angry? Where are you selfish? Where are you dishonest? Always be looking within. That's the key to having a healthy relationship, man. It's hard to do in the moment when you're arguing or when things come up, but you got to make a practice out of it, man, because that's going to be crucial. You know, that's going to save the relationship if things ever crop up. Number 9, having a whole list of things you want in somebody, man, like this laundry list of this. This girl needs to be this tall, look like this. She needs to be a 9.5 out of 10. She needs to have, you know, big boobs, big butt, no kids. Homie, I never thought that I would date a girl with kids, man. I never, ever thought I would. I never thought it would be an option for me. I completely, you know, if it were up to me and my little list of all the, you know, things on paper that are my crucial list, a girl with kids would not be on it, man. Now I got a girl with 2 kids here living in the house. We have a home together, and it feels like a home. You know, man plans, God laughs. You never know. So you got to put that whole list aside, man, and kind of be open. I mean, as I said, there's got to be attraction. There, you got to, you know, certain things, you know, you might like, but a lot of us have this whole list thought out of exactly, and if you they got to come from this kind of family, and every little thing has to meet your expectations, like you're the best thing in the freaking world, you know, and it's just kind of a arrogant, selfish mentality, man. You're not gonna find what you're looking for. It's that grass is greener, just that long list of you got to put it aside, man, because you don't know what God has in store for you. And that's what I've learned, man. And he might have something in store for you better than anything you could have ever imagined, in my experience, man. And then number 10, this is another big one, man. Not living in the moment, man, and just allowing yourself to enjoy the moment when you're dating someone, you know. When you just start dating someone and you don't know where it's going, that's also okay, man. It's okay just to allow yourself to enjoy your time with that person and not be obsessed with thinking about where the relationship's heading and what's going on. It's okay, man, just to live in the moment and enjoy your time with somebody, man, and have a nice time, as long as you're treating people honestly and respectfully, and your motives are good. if your motives are good, and as I say, you're dating, you know, for the long term, that's your intention, you don't need to obsess, man, on where it's heading and every little thing. It's okay. You're going to miss being in the moment and just enjoying the relationship. So I think that's all crucial stuff. Those are 10 things, man, that I've found that I've grown from and grown into, and I'm always trying to grow into, man. Being true to myself and enlarging my spiritual life, enlarging and perfecting my spiritual life and getting closer to God, which also makes my relationship better, man. So that's what I got. And let me know what you think of this, man. That's just, you know, I'm GGH here to talk about all sorts of subjects, homie. God bless all of you, man. Together, let's get this dang muscle. I'm out.